As mentioned, the former managing director of Life Esidimeni has told the inquest looking into who should be held criminally liable for the deaths of more than 144 mental health care users that he warned the Gauteng Health Department multiple times of the fatal consequences. Dr. Morgan Mkhatshwa said he resigned because he could no longer deal with the politicians who did not listen. In 2016, 144 patients died after being transferred to ill-equipped and unlawful NGOs. They died of hunger, they died of dehydration and cold. SABC News senior reporter Chriselda Lewis is covering the inquest for us, and she joins us now live. Chriselda, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. So we've seen Dr. Mkhatshwa yesterday basically telling the court that nobody in the provincial health department heeded the warning signs.
Well, that's right, Simpiwe. I want us to first take a listen to this clip where Dr. Mkhatshwa basically describes how he warned officials of a possible disaster if they went ahead, as you correctly point out, with the transfer of the mental health care users, because he believed the process was being rushed. There were simply no proper plans in place. And the man at the helm of Life Esidimeni at the time of the tragedy said several warnings not to proceed with the transfer of the mental health care users were ignored. Let's take a listen.
Dumping for me is to just letting them go back to the society without the necessary support that will make sure that they survive and control the illness.
And those processes were not followed during the Marathon project?
They were not.
But lawyers representing the former head of a department at Gauteng Health, Dr. Bani Selebano, said they were told that Dr. Mkhatshwa never warned Dr. Selebano in any discussion. Let's take a listen.
Dr. Selebano also says that he doesn't have any recollection of you at any time having told him that, in your opinion, this project could end in disaster. You may have said that to other people, but he says he's not aware of any such statement being made to him.
He must be suffering from selective amnesia, because in Randfontein, I said to him, this is not going to end well.
So Dr. Mkhatshwa also came under scrutiny, Simpiwe, over allegations that Life Esidimeni did not provide adequate documentation for the transfer, and said, to his knowledge, none of the patients left the facility without the proper paperwork detailing, for example, their medical history. Let's take a listen.
There is evidence, and Ms. Chambers also testified about that some of these patients were transferred to NGOs with absolutely no medical record. There was no medication, no clothes, and no history of the circumstances or the illnesses that was provided.
Like I indicated earlier on, all the documentation was handed over to clinicians who were officials of the department. Life Esidimeni had absolutely zero control of what happened to those documents as soon as they were handed over to the Department of Health officials.
Simpiwe, cross-examination of Dr. Mkhatshwa will continue this morning. We're expecting that the lawyers of the former health MEC here in Gauteng, Dani Mahlangu, will cross-examine him.
All right, Chriselda, thank you so much for that update. We'll be touching base with you a little later on. That is our senior reporter, Chriselda Lewis. She's closely following the Life Esidimeni inquest, looking into the deaths of 144 mental health patients. And she's closely following that. As soon as it starts, then she'll be on the pulse of that story.